Everything's coming up to Timberwolves. Yeah, in the zone. Simple dedication to the team when you're in the know. To Timberwolves. Yeah, in the soul. Lifting all the positivity for the Wolves to grow. So, where we going from here, man? We listen week to week to get the clearest to clear. Recaps, got that. Soundcap, got that. Team ads, got that. So tell me what they do not have, huh? How dare you? Foolish question to ask, but I don't mean to go brag. But boy, they got all the stats, and they could go all the way back from KG to Zerbiak. And all I'm saying is that the cast a one-stop shop for my Timberwolves. Timberwolves. Ain't a thing falling, everything's coming up. Timberwolves. Timberwolves. Falling from the autumn, ain't nobody gonna stop him. It's the Timberwolves. Timberwolves. Phonies, you can spot them, they the sheep under their clothes.
Just in for a reason, we have a breaking news alert here. A trade in the NBA. The Utah Jazz are sending Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange. Utah receives, are you ready? Malik Beasley, our friend Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt, Walker Kessler, who was Minnesota's first-round pick just this year, and multiple future first-round picks.
Holy foop.
That was kind of my reaction when I heard the news today. By the way, this is the Everything's Coming Up Timberwolves podcast. My name is Gabe Anderson, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris Emerson. Chris, how we doing?
We're intrigued.
We are intrigued. All right. That's a good way to put it. I am personally on cloud nine, but intrigued. I like that word. And Jared Good. Jared missed a couple of podcasts in the past. It's good to have you back, though. Jared, how we doing?
Doing good. I'm probably a little bit higher on this deal than maybe the rest of the guys in the room, but I like this one.
I am super high on this one. So let's just get to it, and we'll start with you, Chris. What was your initial reaction when you heard Gobert coming to Minnesota in exchange for those guys that were mentioned in the intro and then a bunch of picks? What was your initial reaction?
So my initial reaction is I thought D'Lo was going to be involved to make money work, and I was like, so who's the point guard? You know. Mm-hmm. Then when I saw he wasn't there, and I saw McDaniels wasn't there, I'm all for it. You know, I'm all for it for the main reason. Take a swing. You know,
right.
If you look at the history of the NBA, it's usually dominated. You know, each decade's dominated by like one or two teams. And to get to be that team that's actually in the hunt, you know, you either got to be real lucky or real bold. And I think we got a little bit of both with Anthony Edwards and now making this bold move for Rudy Gobert.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got to.
You still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I was trying to promote something. Man, sorry about that. Jared, your initial reaction. Back on track. Okay, here we go. Jared, did you hear me?
My initial reaction was I thought it was kind of a haul for Gobert. You know, like looking at it on paper, you think 4 first-round picks plus a lot of what would be our bench players and you know, pretty significant role players that were on this team last year. But then, you know, I think about it, and we got to remember these picks are going to be in the 20 range. So these are more closer to second-round picks than they will be for. I mean, you know, you can hit a home run in those slots, but they're kind of rare, you know. So after kind of like thinking about that, I thought, you know, I'm down with it because, you know, we talked about foul trouble last year, and I think this really, really helps our issue with fouls because Cat doesn't have to play the 5 anymore. He doesn't have to try and be a rim protector like he did in the past. So I think that's a really, really big thing.
He's bad.
Yeah. And so I think that's a really, you know, a big thing. You know, we just signed this guy to a $224 million 4-year contract. And letting him have like a little bit of less pressure and just go out there and be himself, you know, instead of, you know, constantly battling fouls. I joked earlier that he averaged 5.2 fouls per game. I don't know what the exact number was, but it sounded pretty correct to me because he was in foul trouble all the time. Timberwolves got killed on the glass last year, almost repeatedly, you know, and Gobert plays defense. He doesn't foul. and he gets rebounds. I mean, I think this is a huge add for the Timberwolves. Was it quite the package? Absolutely. But if you're going to add a guy like that, I think you got to take your chances. For the first time in a long time, I think we have a championship window. I can't say that I've said that in the past 15, 20 years.
Right. And here's the thing. And I even look at the players that we got rid of, particularly without giving up D'Lo, and it doesn't hurt me that much. I mean, okay, Beasley, he had some games, right? He had some games where he went off and maybe won us 1 or 2 games last year because he had a great game. Patrick Beverley, he's replaceable. He was kind of a one-year guy that kind of change the culture a little bit and maybe spark some guys and lead them in the right direction and get the fan base in the right direction. Walker, we have no idea. Let's see who else. Vando, kind of an energy guy, but not irreplaceable by any means. I mean, and then picks, we have no idea. Like, for example, in our starting lineup right now, we have one guy that was drafted in the 20s, and that's McDaniels anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't hurt me that bad. Chris, go ahead.
When we were talking about the 19th pick, and I think Tim Connolly said when they're talking about like the impact that the 19th pick might have, this is before the draft, obviously. He said, I don't think that there was one player drafted in that range that got any minutes in the playoffs, like with like the final 4 teams, So like, if you want to be a real team, more than likely you don't have a rookie, getting that type of minutes,
Right.
So like right away, he wasn't going to, Kessler wasn't going to do anything. When it comes down to it is let's roll through those picks. I just did a little thing and said, I'm going to go to 22nd, 22nd pick in the draft. More than likely we'll be better than that. So we'll be picking beyond that, but 22 is my lucky number. So I went with that. And I went back 4 years and I said, let's get the last 4, I went back 8 years because you have to skip a year. Here's the last guys that were drafted, around 22nd. So in 2014, young man named Jordan Adams. Heard of him? I haven't. 2016, a guy drafted 22nd. Malachi Richardson. Haven't heard of him. So then we go 2018, Chandler Hutchinson. Haven't heard of him. Then you go 2020, Zeke Naji. I've heard of him because he's from Minnesota and he's an okay role player for Denver. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to tell you the package was Walker Kessler, Jordan Adams, Malachi Richardson, and Chandler Hutchinson, and Zeke Naji, are you going to be disappointed? You're not, No. So, I mean, of course, it's a crapshoot. More than likely, the Jazz will use some of those picks to package to, get other players. But if we're talking actual picks, and if they end up, those are the 22nd pick. More than likely we'll be drafted. We dang near drafted there right now without him. So,
right.
The picks I'm not worried about. Pick swaps, I'll give you all the pick swaps. I'm never worried about pick swaps if you're getting a better player because your team's going to be better, probably. Of course, there's a lot of probablys involved, but, you get a guy who's a 3-time defensive player of the year. He's going to help us dramatically. We're better today than we were yesterday. The question is, what is Finch going to do with these 2 bigs? That's going to be the interesting thing. He's done it before with Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins. He put the offense together with Nurkic and the Joker. So, he's played with these two big style before, so maybe he's got something up his sleeve. That's what's going to be interesting. What helps is that Karl-Anthony Towns basically plays like a small forward. So, it's not going to exactly be 2 big guys clogging the paint. So, take a swing for a home run. Let's see what happens.
Right. And joining us is Garrison. Is it Aguirre? Is that?
Yeah, Aguirre.
Okay, you live in Utah, right? Or
yeah, I do. I live in Utah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So what does this look like kind of from a Jazz perspective?
I get Chris's point. where what are those picks going to be? But I don't think the Jazz are going to use those picks for like, hey, let's wait and hope Minnesota does bad. I think they're going to use those picks to retool. They're not going to rebuild. They already said they're going to keep Mitchell. And we knew since the COVID pandemic when Rudy did that whole touch the mic and then Donovan Mitchell got COVID and blah, 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 they had a fallout, And with the coach, leaving, we knew there was something there. And today, I don't know, I know you guys saw it, where Brian Windhorst was like, ooh, there's this Utah Jazz, watch out. Like, dude, like we knew this was coming. But 5 first-round picks is a lot. You really have to think about it because you never know when an injury can happen. Look at the Warriors. Sure. I mean, the Warriors were still considered a top team, and then Curry got hurt, then Klay Thompson got hurt. And I'm not wishing anybody to get hurt ever, but you never know. I mean, you guys paid up, but you guys got a 3-time defensive player of the year. That with him and Cat, no one's gonna do anything down there. I mean, I can see nicknames already, the Twin Towers, but it's gonna be awesome for you guys. For us, it's more for just a rebuild tool,
Ammunition.
Ammunition, yeah. I heard rumors they already want to try to go after Ayton. So, but like overall, you guys got a defensive player of the year locked up in his contract. Yes, it's a lot of money, but I can't see any of those guys that you guys traded away turn out to be a defensive player of the year or, being this good of a, what do you call it, the win metric, the defensive win metric, impact on you guys' team. I'm telling you guys, watching Rudy every game, it's like, it was an honor. It was an honor because it reminded me of Mark Eaton. Back in them days, It reminds me. I
love Mark Eaton.
Yeah, and the thing about Rudy, he's passionate about basketball. And you need that on the team, And he cares about the team. He cares about the community. I think it can be big for you guys. I'm excited to see how he does on you guys' team. I'm just curious, like, the rotation, yeah, it might be a little bit. But Cat can play the 4. He can play the 4 easily. Cat's so athletically gifted, and he can do everything. And Rudy being down there, Cat doesn't have to worry about getting fouled no more, Rudy's really good at that, too, staying out of foul trouble.
Yeah, and some that we were talking about last episode was we thought with the drafting of Walker Kessler, that might close the door on Naz Reid. Door's wide open for him now as a backup, and I love that as well. Also, this elevates, particularly with all the guys we gave up, this elevates someone like Jalen Noel. He's now a huge player off the bench as well. Chris, go ahead. What you got?
Well, one of my favorite things about Rudy Gobert, and it's something that I loved about real young Kevin Love, and something I loved about real young the Greek Freak, is guys that make tons and tons of impact without needing the ball. Mm-hmm. So like Rudy Gobert is going to impact your team at an all NBA level, and you don't need to dump him the ball. He's not taking up shots. He's not doing any of that. He gets his buckets off putbacks, off lobs, off the easy stuff. So he's not taking shots from Anthony Edwards. He's not taking shots from Karl Anthony Towns. To get a guy that can make that much impact and still not take a lot of your, a lot of usage, that's worth its weight in gold. So, it's going to be fun to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Also, I was just thinking about this. We finally have a big guy who's a lob threat at the rim. Like, we haven't had that in a long time. Jared, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess my only concern with this trade is our bench depth is now very thin. We're very, very thin off the bench. But, free agency is still going on. We still have a big question mark with what's going to happen with D'Lo. Will he be on this team? It kind of seems like we were shopping him around, or it was said that we were shopping around, and then maybe there might not be any buyers for him. Like, he's on a pretty hefty contract too. And I know Chris knows a little bit more about the D'Lo stuff than I do, but the Timberwolves aren't done yet. I think Chris earlier this week said we still have $10.5 million in caps to get some bench help.
We did.
Not with
we might have, not anymore.
Well, no, we did, right? Then we signed slow mo to 8 of it. So then we've got about, 8 left or something like that. But what's interesting is, so we've got 3 roster spots open now. And so we've got about, 7 or 8 left in the mid-level exception we can use on a guy. We should be able to get an okay guy for that. I mean, Slow Mo's a solid ball player right there. So if we get a guy with his quality, that would be great. Maybe, I've been talking about it, but I don't know what Dennis Schroeder's going to go for. But if we can get, a guard that can come in and be an instant impact behind D'Lo, that would be huge. And then there's a thing called the biannual exception, which every other year you can use. And that's another $4 million. And we didn't use that. Most teams don't use it. But this type of move is pretty much saying that our owners are fine paying luxury tax. So we're going to be going in the luxury tax. So with that 4 million, with another 7 million, those are solid vets, like guys like DeAndre Jordan Andre Drummond are signing for like 3-4 million right now. So we might be able to get a couple solid guys, hopefully some shooters to go in there. And we went from, maybe making the playoffs in a super competitive West to right now. 2 years ago, the Jazz were the number 1 team in the West, and their roster was, pretty much what we have, except I would say ours is a little better. Other than Gobert, which obviously matches out, they had Mitchell, which I'll throw Ant at Mitchell, similar type players. They had Connolly, we've got D'Lo, and they had Royce O'Neal, and we've got McDaniels, so kind of a defensive only kind of guy on both of them. So they're similar lineups. The only difference is they had Bogan Bogdanovic, and we've got Karl Anthony Towns. So
Right.
I would take that.
I think
absolutely. And just throwing at it, and I know everyone's talked about this, but just the potential of having D'Lo at the 1, Ant at the 2, McDaniels at the 3, Towns at the 4, and then Gobert at the 5.
It's a long lineup.
That's death row right there. Gerson, you had some?
I think one of the biggest things Rudy can do too for you guys is the fact that he can defend all positions. I know it sounds weird saying it, but when you switch on Rudy, the only way you're going to beat him is that outside 3. But if you have Cat there, Cat can cover those ground too. But you guys' team is sick.
McDaniels.
Yeah, McDaniel. You guys' team is sick. You got an up-and-coming star in, he's already a star, in Ant, and then D'Angelo Russell. I think this is his last year here. Not going to be. I don't think you guys want to extend him. But I don't think you guys also got Tarion Prince, didn't you?
Yep.
We signed
shot like 40% the last half of the year.
Yeah, so I don't think you guys are as bad as a team. I just think if you add a couple of those players like Chris was talking about, you guys will be a solid team. As of right now, I have you guys at a top 4 team in the West.
I'll take it.
The only team I can think of better is the Warriors, Clippers. Yeah, if they stay healthy,
That's the key.
The Clippers, the Warriors. Who else? Let's see. Not the Jazz, obviously. Denver?
Yeah.
Nah.
Phoenix.
Denver. Yeah, we're going to be battling.
Yeah.
The West is tough, but
Memphis Grizzlies, maybe, they're up there. I don't think the Phoenix Suns will be up there anymore. I think they're going to fall down. Dallas Maverick could be up there. But if I were to pick, I think the number 1 team will be the Warriors, then Memphis Grizzlies, Maverick, and then the T-Wolves.
Yeah, I put us ahead of the Mavericks, to be completely honest, with this latest move, particularly with them losing Jalen Brunson. I don't now. Obviously, I don't think they should have paid Jalen Brunson what they did or what the Knicks gave him. But man, that's going to be a tough loss and something for them to recover and replace him at point guard. But yeah, it's a move. How about this? Tim Conley, within a month of getting hired as the Wolves player of basketball operations or whatever he is, makes a huge makes a move that some people in that position don't make in an entire career. And he steps in, makes the moves, absolutely no fear. Day 2 of free agency, he steps in, saw what he likes, and got it done. And that's what we wanted, right? I mean, we called the episode where we talked about the hiring of Tim Connolly, we call it big game hunting, because we thought that's what A-Rod and Lori wanted in their president. And look at what they did. They went and got their guy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun to see.
Yeah. Garrett, go ahead.
It was kind of funny, I forwarded this message to you in our group chat, but Gerson about this back on Tuesday. And when I kind of read it, I was like, And he said, well, we're definitely shopping them around. And I'm like, well, and then, here we are on Friday and we got a deal, it's kind of, and someone else in our group chat said, who's your source? I said, I don't know. That's a Utah fan, so it's kind of fun to see stuff go down like that and have a little bit of an inside scoop.
I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm so jealous. You guys have no idea how great of a player. I get that nobody loves Rudy as much as probably a Jazz fan, but I think you guys understand that being T-Wolf fans, right? Nobody loves your player as much as a T-Wolf fan, right?
Right.
And that's just based on, I argue with Jared every day about the T-Wolf, So I know this, but I'm telling you guys, Rudy is going to be really special. He's fun to watch. Just to watch him every day on the court and how hard he plays, you're going to be excited. I mean, oh, man, I can't tell you. I'm just getting goosebumps right now just talking about it. That's how excited I am for you guys. It's crazy because Tim Connolly first drafted as Denver GM in 2013. He traded out of the 27th pick, and the Jazz selected Rudy Gobert. And now Connolly is you guys' GM, and now he has Rudy Gobert. So he must be happy.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
The funny thing about that 2013 draft of Connolly's is he made a comment about it in one of his first press conferences, and he said, he had a chance early on as a GM to draft a guy as a draft and stash, a Euro guy, and he didn't. And he thinks, and it's come back to haunt him. And I'm guessing that's who he was talking about. So he's went full circle on that. One thing that I think might be overlooked and maybe shouldn't be is Karl-Anthony Towns has never been pushed. He's always been the alpha big man. He's always been the guy that's kind of, seemed like it's a little too comfortable for him to be the quote unquote leader or the guy everyone looks to. Now he's got Rudy Gobert, who him and Gobert have kind of had back and forth with who's getting, all NBA, who's getting a vote for the All-Star game. They've kind of had almost a rivalry in voting that way. Mm-hmm. And now with Anthony Edwards stepping up, this might be a big year for Karl-Anthony Towns to put up or shut up. He signed this big contract. So, it might push him too. So competition, is a good thing on all levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's kind of why I love this Gobert move right now. It's just as much as we have a young core like McDaniels and stuff like that, we still got to be in win now mode, right? Because Cat's not getting any younger. I mean, Ant, he's getting close to his prime. I'm not sure if he's in his prime yet, but year 3, that's about when they start. That's close to when they start to their prime most of the time. So,
we definitely have a window.
What's that?
Definitely got a window to win. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I just think we got to win now. And hey, if this gets us closer to a championship and even if that pick to Utah in 2029 is a good pick after we win a championship, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll exchange that. Absolutely.
For sure.
I think
now all eyes are on D'Lo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw, but on the trade machine on ESPN, you guys just with this trade are a +5 win. And +5 wins is a big swing in the West, That's that's what, top 3 right now? You guys would have been,
I'll take it.
And that's a -8 win for the Jazz. So, that shows how valuable Rudy is. I'm excited for you guys. I got to head out, but thanks for having me.
Actually, you know what? We got to go as well. I got to head out as well. But guys, thanks so much for being here. Gerson, thanks for being here. Jared, thanks for being here. Chris, as always, thanks for being here. There's more. I'm seeing in the chat people want us to talk D-Lo. Upcoming podcast, come up for that, and we will talk D-Lo extensively, particularly if something happens. But we'll talk about that. Also, guys, we are basically in a rush. You're trying to get to 150 subscribers, so if you can help out with that, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss an episode, and follow us, of course, and give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. And this is the Everything's Coming Up Timberwolves podcast, and as always, go Wolves.